There are some people that smoke marijuana. Again, someone I knew, and she would regularly come to school high, and just she would be like, ha ha ha, laughing her ass off. Did she graduate? I'm not sure actually. I can't remember.
今日は日本とカナダの義務教育について話していきたいと思います。俺らの子供がハーフってこともあって、将来日本で教育を受けていくのか、カナダで学校に行くのかって選べるわけやん。で、花のと話聞いてたら、カナダと日本のエデュケーションが結構違ってて、それぞれに良さ、プロス&コンがあるから、っていうのを今回ちょっと話していきたいなと思います。
Just in case you're new with our channel, my name is Hannah. I'm a Canadian and
コウキです。
He's Japanese.
ジャパンの日本人のコウキです。
Actually, we met in Vancouver, and since then we had talked about our own school experiences. And Japan, there are certain things that are very famous in the West for their school system. But from stories you told me, there was still lots that I had no idea about.
まずね、そのシステムでね、日本はさ、義務教育はね、小学校、中学校、高校まであって、カナダはちょっと違うよね。そこから違うよね。
So, Canada, it depends. Where I grew up in Vancouver, I didn't even have middle school, which actually I don't like because elementary school and high school are the only ones we have, and it means for the people beginning, let's say elementary school or high school, and the people who are about to graduate elementary and high school, there's a huge age gap, and very different levels of maturity. So it's actually very weird. We had stories about in high school, a guy in grade 12 who was dating a girl in grade 8.
そういうのも起こるってことね。確かに。
stuff like that.
エイジギャップすごいね。6年間ってことでしょ?
So you can literally be a legal adult in high school, and you're with there's people who start high school and they're still 11 or 12. I remember when I was in grade 8, the 4th floor in our school, I think it was the 4th floor, was mostly for older students, but I had one English course there. And I remember I didn't like going up there because it felt like you're surrounded by a bunch of adults, and then I was still, it was very intimidating going there.
確かに。そういうのもあるんか。
I think middle school is nice to have.
花も日本に住んでさ、1年以上経つやん。花が日本の小学校、ここ驚いたなみたいなとこあるんでしょ？こういうとこいいなみたいな、日本の小学校について。
Oh, he's gonna.
くれ。
By the way, that's why we're in this room. It's because he can just go wherever he wants while we talk.
畳やなね。
Yeah. In the West, it's famous that Japanese kids are well behaved and they respect their teachers more. But I didn't know about details so much. So what I learned from you, which I really liked, is that from elementary school the whole time, they provide lunch.
Oh yeah.
I plan on obviously feeding our kid well, but in general, I like to hear that all kids will get good nutrition because there was actually often 1 or 2 kids in the class in elementary school in Canada where their lunch might be a bag of chips or it's really sad, right? Not just for our kid, but in general I liked hearing that. Every kid is gonna have a well-balanced meal for lunch, at least, every day, which is really nice. But one thing that comes with eating meals is they have different responsibilities and roles. So 1 week this class is responsible for distributing food.
We got split into groups.
Right?
Yeah.
And then either way, always you're expected to clean up after yourself. And it also teaches them eating together and table manners. The teachers always go oh, itadakimasu, gochitosama deshita. They always do together, and everyone has a sense of responsibility about where the food comes from. You have to get it ready yourself. You have to clean up after.
あと給食とかで面白い話があって、 なんか例えば if there's a recipe which really you like and then you are like in charge of distributing 例えば俺豚汁とかめっちゃ好きだったとする if I love 豚汁で豚汁 like a miso soup put the pork so you can put a lot to my you know what I said for yourself you can put a lot on me you can put like just lots of like soup
So there's like a benefit of doing the
とかもある
job.
し、あとはなんか普通に給食って it has more calorie than usual make sure like poor you know
Right?
so make sure like kids have enough nutrition every day something like that
Right? That's only one of the ways, like even just the sense of responsibility about cleaning up your classrooms.
oh yeah
For everything, they're
Oh, yeah.
expected to clean up after themselves. Any mess they make, or just generally keeping the classroom nice.
とかじゃ毎日帰る前に掃除の時間がある
Right?
we got like assigned
Yeah.
and duties
In my elementary school and high school, we always have a janitor, which that's someone who has a salary who's paid to clean every
掃除の
classroom.
人ってこと
To clean the whole school, and it's usually at night after everyone goes home. Kids don't have to, like, they know there's a janitor that cleans up the classrooms, the floors, everything. They don't take care of their space. Like, they don't respect the fact that someone has to clean it. They just have this idea that, oh, no matter how we leave the classroom, the next day it's gonna be clean. Even the washrooms, like, I remember, you know, kids, especially boys, they would like put stuff down the toilet or, you know, things they thought were funny because they don't have to deal with it. So from a young age, you're not really taught well how to be responsible for yourself. My mom taught me well, like I obviously have to clean up after myself. We had chores and duties at my home. Not to say that I didn't resist sometimes, like I was still a shithead, but there's a lot of kids that graduate and they, even when they're 17, 18, they still have, they still have no sense of responsibility. They don't know how to clean anything. They don't really care as much about it because they never had to. From the beginning, I really love how elementary school in Japan teaches kids like life skills and just builds up a really good foundation of like taking care of yourself, your environment, like you're a team, you gotta work together to keep things like neat and tidy.
You got, I think, a good point. I think we act with in groups more. なんで掃除もそうやし、給食の当番とかもあって、それから distributing and serving food とかもあるし、あとはね、go to the school も in groups. We go to the school in groups and there is a leader. And of course the old students make sure look after the younger kids, like stay safe. そうだから日本はもっとグループでちゃんとみんなで動くっていうのはあるかもしれない。
Since having a kid, since becoming like a small family, I've been very thankful that Japan has more of a group mindset. It's not individualistic here.
違うね。
I feel so like, you know, I forget the name, like 安心する? Like
reassured?
Yeah, reassured. I feel reassured like that people watch out for kids here and families work together. Each parent has a morning where they lead like a group of kids to school. I'm really grateful and I feel much better that everyone watches out for kids and there's like systems to keep kids safe. In terms of being a parent, like there's a lot less you have to worry about or think about. There's already like a way how people do it here and it's safe, you know. So like we don't even have to think, oh, how should we get him to school? It's like, well, there's a group and they go every morning and like, right?
親としては安心するよね。
Right?
もちろんカナダの小学校にもいいとことかあると思うけど、まあ you like just we have more like group mindsets. Okay, I agree with it. Yeah.
You could talk more about middle school, but I have nothing to compare it to because I didn't have middle school. So we just went straight to 高校. So.
まあじゃあ高校の話、高校も全然違うよ話聞いてたら、まずね受験があるからね。First of all, we have to take an exam for entrance to high school. いい高校に入るために、みんな試験を受けて そう受かるか受からないかみたいな。だから中学生の時に友達とみんなで一緒にこう塾行って、塾が first of all cram school is normal 行って、みんなで一緒に勉強してたから、正直あんまり苦じゃなかった。恵まれてたと思う。みんなで頑張って楽しかったかな普通に。
So I'm not a fan of like there's a lot of stress involved with like Japanese high school compared to ours. You just go to the high school that's in your district.
小学校とか中学校みたいな感じで。
Right. So, but high school, it's the same. So there's no exam, nothing.
じゃあ、カナダには賢い高校とかないってこと？日本やったらもう有名な賢い高校とかあんねんけど。
Actually, it's kind of shitty. There's high schools that have a really good reputation, but it's usually because it's in a more like rich neighborhood.
Okay.
I was someone who studied very hard. I was pretty extreme about it. There's no exam, but they look at your grades for grade 11 and grade 12.
成績ってことね。
I have a lot of stories about how, you know how you said you wouldn't find like Yankee in the same school as like a really studious person, right? Ours, we have any kind of student. So students that really care about their grades and students that don't give a shit. They skip class, you know, they really don't care. They're just like gonna graduate barely. So I didn't like that because as someone who studies a lot, often the students who didn't care would interrupt class.
Wow.
They would joke around, like purposefully give the teacher trouble. Like teachers would break down crying sometimes because students would just like bully them essentially. I actually have a good story about that. I don't know if I've told you, where in my physics class, our teacher was in the middle of like giving like a lecture, right? And right in the middle of her speaking and having a presentation, this guy comes in who was the same grade as me. And he had physics, but it was like a different time. So he wasn't supposed to be in that class. He had no reason to be there. And he just bust open the door and he was red, like super red. And he was speaking nonsense. And he was like, you know, what's up, everybody? Ha 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 ha. Like, I have my homework, you know. And so because he's red and he was kind of
drunk?
Out of it, I'm pretty sure he was drunk.
Or like drunk?
So like 11 a.m., this kid is drunk and he's interrupting the class. And the teacher was so shocked. She was actually, she's a really nice woman, not very loud. So she was like, oh, please get out of my classroom. Like, stop doing this, right? And he didn't listen. So, yeah. I don't remember what I said, but I was fucking angry because there was so many guys who always interrupted her class. And I just wanted to get through the lesson so we could, you know, do our work. So I got up and I don't know what I said, but essentially I had to deal with the situation and I shoved him out and I closed the door and there is a lock. So, you know, I locked the door and I was like, I'm sorry, miss, you know, whatever her name is, like, please continue. I sat down ready to
You're
go.
such a studious girl.
I was actually, a lot of people, you know, it's not bullying per se, but they called me a bitch a lot. And people really didn't like me because I would actually stand up for the teacher and I wanted to study. And people didn't like that. They thought I was annoying for not wanting to like disrupt class. So I would have loved it if I was in a school with other people who want to get their work done. Like, it would be much more efficient.
真面目に勉強してる子からしたらすごい迷惑やね。鬱陶しいね。その今ドラッグって言葉が出てきたけどさ、高校生でもうドラッグしてる人とかおるってこと？
Yeah, I did see some hard drugs at my school.
それやばいね。
Most of it was like, let's say if there was a party that I never went to any of the parties, but I always heard about it like the next day. There was mostly it's alcohol or marijuana, but there are some kids who, you know, what would it be? I don't know, white powder. Suspicious white powder. I obviously I don't really know. Like, I don't even know what to call it. I think there were pills too, like ecstasy, or I don't even know. What is MDMA? But I heard all of these things and I'd be like, oh my god, you guys are fucking idiots. Like, just do your homework.
Yeah, それやばいね。ドラッグしてるね、みんな。
But, okay, it's not... I think people have the image that, like, everyone is doing it. And even when I'm in high school, it could feel like, oh my God, is like everyone doing drugs and smoking pot? No, it's still the minority. But the fact that it happens at all, there are some people that smoke marijuana. Again, someone I knew, and she would regularly come to school high, and just she would be like, ha ha ha, laughing her ass off. Did she graduate? I'm not sure actually. I can't remember.
それは多分日本ないね。あったとしても多分、いや、タバコとか。
タバコは
可愛いぐらい。
Yeah.
タバコぐらいだったの。で、まずパーティー文化とかないからさ、俺らはほとんどやで。みんな部活に入ってるクラブ。
いや。
だから、パーティーしてる時間もないし、俺バスケ部やってんけど、休みなんか、一個もなかったね。お正月とお盆ぐらい。
True.
だから、遊びに行くこともないから、もうずっと部活やから、部活とかないの？カナダって。
Of course we have, but usually, unless it's a sport, it's definitely considered more of like a nerdy thing. Like if you really, really, really love it, then you'll do it.
It doesn't make sense for me. Because Canada, バスケとかさ、めっちゃ強いやん。ホッキーとかさ。
Okay, so just for sports, there are students where like all they care about is the sport. Sports are different.
OK。俺らはもう例えばめっちゃ勉強頑張ってる子もスポーツするから。なんていうのな。
My image of people who play sports is usually
just sports. They
hope to get a scholarship with sports because they're not studying much.
まあ日本も推薦とかあるから。みんな入ってないってことでしょ？みんな花みたいに学校が終わったらみんな家帰るだけってこと？
Most people. Yeah. I think that's why like there are more, parties or people getting up to stuff they shouldn't do because they have much more time. So it's a choice to study, right? Like you don't have to pick that sort of lifestyle. So if you're not studying, you have a lot of free time. Personally, about Japanese high school, the only thing I'm kind of worried about is like there's a lot of things for him to feel pressure about or stress.
まあストレスはめっちゃあると思うで、スポーツも一回やるって決めたらやめられへんやん、やめたくないし、けど勉強もしなあかんしとか。
And then you even said like you played basketball so much, like was it your back would hurt or your leg?
まあそれは普通やで。だからハイスクールとかで we learn like toughness. Yeah. So we just grew up a mindset we never give up. Once you decided to do, don't give up until you finish.
I thought it was cool. Like, wow, he worked so hard. He played so much basketball. Like, I was impressed when you would tell me stuff like this. But now we have a kid. My perspective is different. The stuff you told me you went through, if I imagine him going through it, like, it makes me sad. I don't want
that's
him
for him
to...
as well.
I understand that mindset, but there's a limit, especially when you are a child. It's the time where you should be able to have fun and just be a kid. Just gonna teach him
to... This is such an Asian culture, right?
I guess, yeah.
だからこれが大学の話につながっていくと思うねんけど、日本の学生はもう高校とかでみんなめっちゃ頑張るんよ。だから once you enroll in university, they 遊ぶねみんな。
Yeah.
そう。だから
I heard about that. That's famous.
We have a saying. 大学はなんか人生の夏休み。University.
Yeah.
そう。ってぐらい、もうなんていうの、もう勉強もする人ももちろんいるんやけど、みんな結構その勉強しやんと遊ぶイメージが多い日本の大学生は。海外と比べるとね。
It's famous abroad, like how people let loose in university and they go kind of crazy.
大学に入るのがもう goal やね、purpose ね。だからもう一回それがもう入っちゃったら、もう次何目指そうって。What should I do for the next? I don't have any goal, something like that. That's what happened to me. そう。だから、だってもうめっちゃ高校頑張って、もう大学入ることだけ考えて頑張って、で、いざ入ったら何したかったんやろみたいな。だから俺、子供には、なんていうの、大学は海外の大学行ってほしい。海外の大学って卒業するの難しいっていうのはちゃんと勉強してさ、イメージやけどね。
My my university was definitely tougher than high school.
Right.
And there was, yeah.
そんな感じかな。だから、
It was tough.
高校とかは怖い、カナダは。ドラッグとかあるし、俺は子供にもちょっと、スポーツもしてほしいよね、もっと。スポーツの勉強も全部頑張ってほしくて。If he feels pressure, of course he doesn't have to do. But if he wants to, I just want to give him an opportunity as much as possible.
Yeah. Honestly, I've heard a lot about how much stress and pressure high school is here.
Yeah.
So I'm a bit worried about that. But otherwise, like, I think it's like there's so much good here for kids. So
what I like about Canada education is like you can be honest, right? Like if you feel pressure, if you don't want to do that, you can speak it out, right?
Yeah.
That's nice. We have a kind of culture. If you decided to do, like don't give up.
Even if you don't like it.
Yeah, like same as a company, right? 仕事でさ、働いててさ、辞めたいけど辞めれへんとかさ、やりたいことあるけどやれへんとか、そういう人結構多いと思うね。でも海外とかやったらさ、they don't care what other people think of you, right? That's I think a really good thing, right?
It can be a good thing, yeah.
Right? でも日本の人って結構周りの人がもし会社辞めたらどうしようとかさ、周りの人が自分のことどう思うやろうみたいな感じで、けど海外の人とかやったら、例えば if you don't like it, don't do that. Simple.
That's the whole individual mindset.
Right? それは俺めっちゃいいと思う。だから日本の人はだからプレッシャーとかで頑張りすぎちゃって結局良くない方向に行っちゃう人もいるから、なんか、
just like, I think it's you can end up in a situation that you're unhappy with.
そうそうそう。だからちゃんと being honest になれることも俺すごいカルチャー的にはいいことやなと思う。だからそういうカナダのエデュケーションで好きなところも俺はめっちゃあるから難しいけど、ドラッグとかはちょっとやばい。
It's easy for your path to get fucked up if you meet the wrong friends.
Right? そうだからそういうのがあるからまあしばらくは私たちは日本にいますということで。
I can just say though, like you might feel like we both have books right now. we're trying to entertain him because usually like he's a pretty loud baby. When he's happy or upset, he's always kind of yelling. So it's a bit tough to film like a talking video.
It takes time.
But I mean, he loves books, so usually we can entertain him with books.
That was nice talking, I guess. どうやらみんなこういうの結構面白かったかな。オーディエンスの人たちは。
Yeah, I feel like our audience is mostly Japanese, so of course it's interesting to learn about Kaigai stuff, but I think it might be interesting for them to have like an outside perspective too of their schooling system. Burp? Did you burp?
じゃあ今日そんな感じかな。
Yeah, so we gotta go.
じゃあ散歩でも行きましょうか。
Yeah.
じゃあありがとうございました。バイバイ。じゃあね、バイバイ。